Hi there and welcome along to another workout for you to row along to. Today's workout is going to be a top tier workout. Now what that means is that it's going to be the maximum intensity. In terms of the way that I do my training plans, this is the one that is the toughest, okay? So you get bottom, mid and top. That's not about your experience level, it's about the intensity level, okay? Just trying to get that straight. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do 12 minutes, 10 minutes, 8 minutes, all with 3 minutes rest in between. Now stroke rate wise, you're going to be doing that at 26 strokes per minute, and your pace is going to be 2k plus 8 to 10. Now where you want to sit between that 8 and 10 is entirely up to you. Now what I'd recommend is probably to be closer to the 10 for the 12 minutes, see how that feels, and if by the time you get through that you think, you know what, I could actually go a little bit faster, then look to going up to the 8 for the next two if you wish. This is supposed to be a really tough workout, okay? This is supposed to be one where you're really pushing hard in order to try and hold on here, okay? So the mid-tier ones are about pushing, but you're pretty sure you can complete. This is about pushing in order to complete. You're like, kind of like, oh, I'm done, I might not make this, okay? So it's meant to be really tough. Your heart rate's meant to be right up there, and you're supposed to be pretty much exhausted by the end of it, okay? If you don't feel like that at the end, you've probably not gone fast enough. But that's, yeah, it could be different for everyone. So just gauge it that way. From an effort level point of view, you're going to be starting round about 8 or 9 out of 10. And by the end of the workout, you're probably going to be up at that kind of 10 out of 10. Because the 3 minute rests might seem quite luxurious, but trust me, by the time you get your second one, you can be like, can this one be longer, please? Anyway. That's my selling point for today's session. So let's get into a 4-minute warm-up. That should be enough for today. And then we're going to start off by setting up our machine with the drag factor. Now, if you don't know anything about drag factor, please check out the video I have on the channel. But of course, there's oodles of other videos out there about drag factor and some ideas of where to set it. Next up, go to your monitor and set it to eye height. If you've got Concept 2, that's quite easy. Just swing the arm. If you're on something like a water rower where it's down there, it's pretty much impossible, sorry. And then go to your foot straps and set them to a point where you're able to get comfortably forward so that your shins hit that nice vertical position, okay? Too high, you might not be able to get there. Too low, you may go shooting straight past that vertical position, which can cause power leaks and a possible injury to your lower back by that hyper stretching. Okay, so 4-minute warm up. We're going to do it around about 18 strokes a minute, and we're just going to ease into it for the first minute. So don't worry too much about pace, just make sure that you connect with your legs and arms, okay? So in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, there's a mad crack of my hips as I did that first press. Let's hope I don't end up paying for that one. Ooh. Anyway, so pace-wise, all I want you to do is connect with your legs, and then make sure you get the timing right, so that as you're pushing away with your legs, at the same time, that's when the handle picks up and connects with the flywheel. And that should hopefully mean you're right about 2k plus 30 pace, just by putting in a little bit of effort. If you don't know what I mean by 2k plus, just row a 2 kilometer time trial, divide your end time by 4, and that is your average 500 meter time for a 2k. And that's how I describe pacing. So when I say 2k plus 8 to 10, it means 8 to 10 seconds slower than your average 2k 500 meter time. Start to increase the pace a little bit. Maybe get closer to 2k plus 20 by now. We're gonna come out the traps running at today's session. So you want to make sure you're warmed up. 2k plus 8 to 10 isn't particularly fast, but holding it for 12 minutes is the tough part. And then with only 3 minutes rest, the next two are going to be tough too. All right, one more stroke, and then put one foot on the floor and continue rowing with just one leg strapped into the machine. Try not to wobble and destabilize when doing this. You should be okay. hopefully. Just put out a nice even push with the leg that's still in. Swap feet. Continue rowing on the other one. This should help you with compression to the front of the machine here. It may be that you're almost over compressing, so try and watch that. Try not to go too far forwards, because you might be able to with only one leg strapped in. Okay, both feet back in, straight legs, and just row with your back and arms. So you're just swinging over your hips, backwards and forwards, and then pulling in the handle and pushing out the handle. Just remember the sequencing is back, arms, arms, back. It's really important to get that handle away from you and then bend over your back or tilt over your back. Now slide to the front, straight arms, and just push out from the front. So legs only. Now you don't have to go too hard here. This is just about getting the timing right of that connection between your legs and the flywheel, okay? And also practicing driving out with straight arms. Maybe 2 more strokes here. 1 more. Oh, there we go. Right, so like I said, it's important that you're nice and warm for today's session, so have a quick drink, just keep on rocking up and down the rail, maybe do some light rowing if you wish, while I describe one more time what it is we're doing today. Okay then, so today's session is going to be 12 minutes, 10 minutes, 8 minutes with 3 minutes rest in between. Now when it comes to programming the monitor, you can punch the numbers in yourself, or you can go to the ErgZone app and find this workout as RA20 under the RA icon. Now there's a tiny chance that we're going to end up running about a second out of sync with the monitor delay, but because there's only the 3 intervals, it shouldn't be too much and we should be okay with it. Pace-wise, I want you to do this at 2k plus 8 to 10 and at 26 strokes per minute. Stroke rate-wise then, it's nowhere near the rate you're going to be doing for your 2k time trial, but by keeping it down at 26 but pushing up the pace as 2k plus 8 to 10, it's going to really make you work hard. Now as such, I don't want you to go too fast and like sit on the 2k plus 8 and then have to back off right to 2k plus 14 or something because you've kind of been too eager and gone out too hard. So I want you to stay between this 2k plus 8 to 10 range and be sensible about it. Even if you have to start the first 12-minute interval at 2k plus 10 and then you go 2k plus 9 for the 10 minutes and then 2k plus 8 for the 8 minute, if that gives you the right workout, then that's absolutely fine, okay? I don't know what your capacity is, so this is why I've given you this range between 2k plus 8 and 10 so that you can make sure that this is a tough workout for you, but that you don't go tough, oh I'm destroyed, and then have to slow right back down out with the pace guide, okay? So please be sensible about this. Remember, it's supposed to be tough, you're supposed to be hanging on by the end, okay? So but you should still be able to manage it if you hang on and really put in that extra effort that you need to. Remember, this is a top tier workout, it's meant to be hard, okay? So first interval, 26 strokes a minute, 2k plus 8 to 10. Follow me on the video for stroke rate, or on the podcast you can just listen to the sound of my flywheel and that will hopefully let you lock into the rhythm that we're rowing at, okay? So in 3, 2, 1, let's go. 26 strokes a minute, 2k plus 8 to 10. So I'm probably just going to sit round about 2k plus 9 just to give myself that leeway up and down, so that when times like this, when I see 2k plus 8, I'm not panicking, but that also gives me a little bit of a option to back off a second and again not panic. But hopefully I'll hold that 2k plus 9. Now you may have noticed that I've moved my whoop strap up onto my bicep. So interesting to see what the post-row data is from this. I've not got it connected to the PM5 because I want to see my polar straps heart rate rather than the whoop. That will be interesting. Right, don't worry, I'm going to talk technique in a second. I'm just giving you the first 2 minutes of this interval to just get yourself nice and smooth and used to the stroke rate. Right. Hopefully you're nicely greased. Your gears are all spinning smoothly. Your body isn't feeling stiff or anything. So you can start to think a little bit about your technique. Where shall we start today? Well, let's talk about the arms. Don't think we ever really start talking technique, thinking about arms. So, the most important thing about your arms is that as you start your stroke here, you keep them nice and straight. You don't start pulling early at the front of the stroke. Leave your pull until here, the back of the stroke. And that way, you let the power get into the machine without you fighting against it. And also, you're able to put in a full pull of your arms at the back of the stroke. Okay, so we're past a third, 4 minutes gone. Well, 4:15, don't worry. There's not a problem with your monitor. Like I said, this first one should feel like a kind of 8 out of 10. You're having to put in some effort to continue at this pace, but it shouldn't feel insurmountable yet. So, nice straight arms as you drive, but in order to get nice straight arms, you should think about your recovery. So that's after you've pulled the handle in to your chest. I want you to send the handle straight back out at the same height that you pulled it in at, and at the same pace you pulled it in at. So it's a nice rhythm of in, out, in, out. And the point
are really thinking about sending that handle away is that by the time you get the handle over your knees and they bend to let you slide up the rail, they should be nice and straight, ready for the start of the next stroke. So you're not thinking about sliding and then at the last minute going, oh, I'm supposed to have straight arms here. You're already there before you even start sliding down the rail towards the front of the machine. And you'll see some folks, when it comes to height, who will drop the handle low and scrape it almost down the legs. Now, that's very common for on the water rowers because they're trying to get an oar in and out of the water. But unless you're perspiring quite a lot already, you shouldn't be surrounded by water. So you don't need to do that. So a straight line back and forth is all you need to do for the main stroke. Now, it must be said, there is a good technique tip to do that with a handle, like sending it low, scraping over your legs, because if your handle is going low, you can't do that thing where you bend your knees before the handle is past your knees. Something I'll cover in the next interval, but like I said, you want to get the handle past your knees before you bend them to slide up the rail. But the danger of doing that low scrape handle return is it can completely destroy your posture, both on the recovery and the drive. 2 minutes to go. Hope you're holding on. Should be okay. I'm hoping this is still around 8 out of 10 for you. And truth be told, after session 2 of week 3 on the 2K Redux plan, if you're using this as session 4, then session 2 may have already zapped you this week. And it may be that you're feeling like you can't quite push this one harder than you are right now. And that's fine, as long as you really did hit session 2 hard enough for that to happen. Almost there. 30 seconds to go. Keep those arms going straight until the end of the stroke, when you pull in for a strong finish. Don't forget to finish strong. All right, 3, 2, 1. I have a very dry mouth after that one. Make sure and have a quick drink. And keep on rocking up and down the rail to keep those muscles moving a little bit. You can, again, if you want to, you can do some light rowing here, just to keep your muscles pumping, but I prefer just to rock up and down and not waste any of the energy that I'm going to need in the main intervals, which, to be honest, I'm going to need. So that one I finished up at 86% of my rowing maximum heart rate. Didn't actually spot the number on the monitor, I'm afraid, but I get the feeling the next one will be into the 90s. And again, the point of this workout is very similar to week 3, session 2, about getting to a point of hardship and needing to push through, needing to hold on to it. The difference is that the duration that you're having to do it for on this one, and how long the intensity lasts for. Because you're doing 12, 10, 8, that intensity lasts a lot longer than it did in session 2, which was just a bunch of, 3-minute rows. So that's what makes this one a top tier, even though you're going slightly slower than you were in session 2, because you're holding this intensity for longer. That's what kind of makes it top. And then that endurance at intensity is what you need when it comes to kind of like that middle 1,000 meters in a 2K, where you can kind of be a little bit lost and kind of going, oh, what's going on? This is tough. Last 500 meters of a 2K take care of itself because you're almost home. The first 500 take care of itself because you just started. It's that middle 1,000 that you can be in no man's land and a bit lost. Okay, interval 2 is coming up. It's 10 minutes at the same pace, starting in 10 seconds time, so get yourself comfortable. Maybe reseat your seat. Give a little wiggle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. So back up to the same stroke rate, and then it's your choice what you want to do about pace. Remember, the first few strokes of an interval can be a little bit betraying, where you boost up and you think, whoa, this is amazing, I'm killing this, but then you get 30 seconds into it and it suddenly all gets a little bit tough. So be sensible. Hold this between 2K plus 8 to 10 pace. I'm doing the same as I did last time. I'm looking to sit on 2K plus 9 so that I don't panic if I go 1 second faster or 1 second slower. So, last time round, all we really spoke about was the arms. But that's not where the powerhouse of your stroke comes in. The power really comes from your leg drive, okay? So that's why I was saying don't bend your arms too early at the front, because at the front of the stroke here, the power you generate comes from your legs pushing into the machine. And with those straight arms, that push of power surges through your body and into the flywheel. And really, it's kind of like you're hanging off the handle as you do that leg drive. So you're really not thinking about your arms at all. They're just hanging on, fingers hooked over the handle, not in a big death grip. And the power from that leg push should flow through. Now, there's a chance that as you come sliding forwards, that your heels are coming off the foot plate. If that happens, then the most important thing to remember is as you start your leg drive, get those heels down onto the foot plate so that you drive with your whole foot. And it can help to think about pushing the machine away from you rather than thinking about pushing yourself back. If only because pushing yourself back can lead to that early pull on the handle. Whew. This one's definitely tougher than the last one. Halfway. Come on. It's meant to be tough. This physical fortitude and mental fortitude, it must be said, is important development of your entire, well, rowing self, really. You need to be physically strong and able to push and continue when the going gets tough, but also you need a strong mind in order to not give in when it starts to really feel like you have to hang on. That's not to say if you're injured or even feeling unwell that you ignore it and push through. That's wrong. But if all it is that it feels tough, and that little voice in your head starts to question whether you can complete or not, that's the one that you need to ask politely to go sit down, because you've got this. You know you can complete this. You just have to keep going. And even if you're starting to listen to that voice, just take 10 more strokes and see how you feel after them. If you don't feel any worse, then take another 10, and so on. And even if the worst happens and you give in to that voice, don't stop. Just back off 1 or 2 seconds until you recover. Maybe just take 10 strokes and then increase your pace again. And you'll hopefully find you've got second wind, ready to pick up the pace where you left off. And that way you'll have a real mental reward from the session, how you battled to overcome. Because seriously, in a 2K or even a 5K, or well, any time trial, if you're going at the right pace, there will be a moment when you need to battle to overcome. And you'll have it in you. That voice will only trigger at about 90%. You'll still have another 10% of lastability in you, enough to see the race through. Okay, 2 more strokes, 1 more. Sorry if that got a bit single tracked, but I felt both of my quads tighten up right in the middle. With about 4 minutes to go there, around about the time I was saying don't just push through injury, ironically enough. So I kind of had to almost zone in on a keep on it mantra for myself in order to stop myself stopping. So hopefully it helped you at the same time. Just kind of talking through that and the importance of just being confident in your own abilities, confident that you know you can get to the end, confident that that voice that's asking you if you're okay, you're confident that you are, and you can just say, yeah, I'm fine. You go sit down over there, I'll give you a shout when I need you. And then if it does get to a point where it gets too much, you can then call over that voice and go, yeah, let's back off 1 or 2 seconds. And then after like 10 strokes, you can then push back up again to your right pace. And like I say, being able to do that, backing off, but then returning to where you were before, is just as good mentally as pushing all the way through, because that strength of mind to be able to ease off and then come back into it again. In many ways, you need a stronger mind to be able to do that than you do to be able to hold the pace. Holding the pace is just dogged determination, but that picking up the pace again takes a real kind of pulling yourself up by your bootlaces. Make sure and have a drink. It's 1 minute to go of this rest. Oh, yeah, I was right. I finished at 91% of my rowing max. So I'm definitely up in the anaerobic point when I finish these, which is great because that's what I want in terms of this feeding into any of my time trial goals of like a 2K or a 5K and stuff, is to be able to be up in that and to be able to push through when I'm at that intensity and not ease off. 30 seconds to go. Make sure you're strapped in, you're comfortable. Like I say, if you have to, just reseat your seat just to make sure that you're comfy. Your sit bones will be pressing on that same part of your glutes if you don't move. So if you just kind of give them a break by just wriggling, that can really help if you suffer from butt pain. 10 seconds to go. So get ready. Pick up your handle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Back into the same stroke rate and pace as before. Now, like I said, if you've been having a walk in the park row so far, and you've been sitting on 2K plus 9 or 10, then feel free to take it up to 2K plus 8. And as being this is the last interval, if you want to go faster, you can. If you think you can hold faster than 2K plus 8 until the end, then I give you full permission to do it. As long as you don't have to back off because you've blown your energy system. Could well be that you just want to wait until 2 minutes to go and then, much like a 2K, start to increase the pace for 1 minute and then sprint home for the last minute. After all, this 8-minute interval will maybe be close to your 2K time, or at least close to how your 2K will feel. So even if your 2K time is 10 minutes, by the time you get to 2 minutes to go, it will feel much like the intensity of the last 500 meters. So if you want to treat those last 2 minutes like the last 500 meters of a 2K time trial, go ahead. I know I won't. Got to protect my quads. Don't know where that's come from. that pain. 5 minutes to go. 3 minutes gone on this one. So, back to technique. We've spoken about the leg drive and the importance of concentrating on your arms. What I haven't talked about is your back. And your posture. So, in its simplest form, your back rocks from a 1 o'clock forward lean to an 11 o'clock backward lean. And that is all you're doing in the stroke. At the front, leaning in to 1 o'clock, and then at the back, leaning back to 11 o'clock. But the transition between the two is important. For a start, when you begin the stroke, I want you to hold that forward lean until your legs are about halfway through the leg drive. And only then do you do the swing back to 11. So you're not swinging right from the start of the stroke and robbing yourself of power, because that swing of your back adds in a fair amount of power to the stroke. But then once you've finished the stroke, as your handle gets pushed away from your body leans into that forward rock again, so that your arms are straight and your body rocked forwards as you recover. You're not rocking while you recover. Now, the important thing is that you're rocking over your hips. You're not bending from your upper or lower back. So at the front, up on your sit bones, hips tilted forwards. A powerful braced core and posture, ready to take the stroke power and send it into the machine. And then at that transition point, you just rock over your hips. So again, you're not collapsing at the back. You're rocking back with a braced core and good, powerful posture again. Ready to just rock, tilt over your hips to get into that forward lean. 20 seconds to go. Come on. We've got this. I've distracted you all the way to the end, I hope. 3 strokes, 2 strokes. Last stroke. Ugh. Oh. 93% of my max. So for me, because I didn't push that because of my whatever happened to my quads, I held that at 93% of my max at the end. I could, fitness wise, probably have pushed a little bit harder, but I knew I was going to get injured if I did. So I maybe finished at 9 out of 10 there rather than the full 10 out of 10. But I'd be really interested to find out how you got on. So do make sure and leave a comment to this video or podcast and let me know whether you managed to push and how you finished pace wise. I mean, I still held the 2K plus 9 all the way to the end there. Did you finish faster than 2K plus 9? Did you finish with a higher heart rate? Just let me know, because for me, that wasn't quite the result I was looking for because of leg injury, but hey, can't always be 100% at the time, so the sensible thing, it was to not push. Disappointing, but sensible. So, 2-minute cooldown at 18 strokes a minute, and I ran about 2K plus 30 pace, okay? In 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh. Oh, I could feel them just as I pressed out there. Don't know if it's, I've been cycling in the Zwift Racing League this week, so I don't know whether that specific part of my quads could be cycling muscles. And so as being I've done 2 heavy bike rides, I've also done week 3 session 2 this week, and then this week 3 session 4. Maybe it's evidence of why. The irony of me not listening to myself. This is why my plans cycled through bottom, mid, bottom, top, bottom, mid, bottom, mid, bottom, top, whatever. I always cycle in and out of a bottom before an intense one. Whereas, what did I do? Tuesday was max effort on the bike. Wednesday was session 2, which was close to max on the rower. Thursday was kind of a mid-tier bike. I had a rest day yesterday, I suppose. Did I? Yeah. And then today was this one, so who knows. Enough about me. So you're just chuntering away to myself. Because yes, I actually went through a Friday without making a video and without reminding everyone that Friday is Spag Ball Fridays in my house. I'm telling you about it today, but it's a Saturday. We're having spicy chorizo burgers tonight. And nobody cares about that. You just care about my spaghetti. Last stroke of the cool down for me. Ooh. You can continue going, of course. Ooh. So, hashtag to prove you made it to the end for this session. See, I want to say sensible because of you have to be sensible about your body, but that doesn't really seem. No, I was about to say sensible shoes, but that's a David Roth song. Smart, okay? Because I'm a great believer that if you can train consistency and train consistently, and train smart, that you'll get faster and you'll get better without injury and stuff. And so today I was unsmart. Is that a word? By pushing today. Today I should really just have done maybe session 5 of the 2K Redux plan today and then 4 tomorrow and kind of whatever, but hey, I'm not the smartest. So anyway, so hashtag smart. Let's have that. You can do it unsmart if you wish. Yeah, and if you're following the Holly thing, she's getting closer to getting to my Apple Watch. She'll get it soon, don't worry. I mean, I want to get a new one so I can do a review of the Apple Fitness Plus thing because of their rowing thing. So I'll get that quite soon. And then she can get this one. Also look in the description and I'll do a very, very quick write-up of whether this was more or less accurate by having it up on my bicep, if you can call it a bicep, instead of on my wrist, because it was useless on my wrist because every time I took a rowing stroke, it thought that kind of action was another heartbeat. So if I was rowing at 28 strokes per minute, it would add 28 beats per minute to my heart rate, which is absolutely useless. So I'm interested to see if up on the bicep it's any better. So I'll put in the description whether it was or not, and I guess at one point I'll probably make a full video about it just to say, yeah, whatever. But I think having made so many about heart rate monitors in one run when trying to talk about the Apple Watch connecting to the PM5, I'm kind of done with heart rate monitors for the time being. Anyway, right. Talking being done, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I really hope you enjoyed this, whether you did it as a standalone or as week 3, session 4. I hope you got this as a top tier workout rather than, like I said, I was probably right about 90% of top, so I wasn't quite there because of my legs getting a little bit sore, which feels like a little bit of a cop-out. I might come back and do this one again at full whack. I might extend the entire plan by 1 week just so I can come back and do this one again. But yeah, let's see if I do that. I might completely change my mind. Anyway, I do hope you're all well and staying safe and stuff. Make sure and say hi, leave a comment either here on YouTube or come to the Facebook group and say hi there. Just say hi, send smoke signals and yeah, and stuff. Sorry, I think I'm a bit tired and loopy today. I think that's why. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why my legs hurt. But yeah. So have a great day or week or whatever. Stay safe. Be well. Bye bye.